I thought maybe he's going back to his karate days or something.
No, that would have been open hand. Yeah.
Can you still do your karate stuff? Or would you pull something?
I'd probably pull everything.
Welcome to Access Sports Weekly here on AccessWDUN.com. Bo Wilson alongside Jeff Hart, as usual. And behind the camera, in front of the camera, Seth Chapman, our wonderful producer of the show, as we welcome you in here once again to another episode of this quality podcast, our webcast that we have for you. And we are entering the final week of the high school football playoffs.
I guess that's one description of it.
Yeah, I guess it would be. What would your description be of it, Jeff?
I don't know, but if you mess with my chair again, we will fight on air.
Okay, I will not touch your chair.
Round one.
Yeah.
Fight.
So how is everybody today, by the way? Okay, now we'll move.
I was like, are you speaking to our audience? Because they're not going to talk back,
No, I was
Bo.
talking to you guys.
Oh.
Bo has officially lost
there's-
his mind.
if
He
there's
thinks
one-
the audience will talk back to him.
If there's one thing you guys do well is talk back. So just
Well, my hamstring's hurting, my elbow's giving
We
me my
didn't-
shoulder.
My patience
neck,
is running a bit thin.
Neck.
is he one of your patients?
No, he's running kind of large, actually.
Okay. It's really hot in here today, folks.
It
yeah,
is.
it's because the lights. They won't get me any LED lights. So
Yeah, we have
it's warm in
these
here. Sorry,
bright
guys.
lights. So anyway, we're today on the show. We're talking.
Is there anybody left
Yeah,
watching
they're-
at this point?
They're gone. On the show today, Bryant Appling. We're going to talk to him a little bit. We have talked to him about the big game they have. Buford, Warner Robins for all the marbles in Class 5A. Big game for them coming up on Friday at 4:30 from Georgia State Stadium in Atlanta. A game broadcast live on AM 550 and FM 102.9. You can hear all that action there. Also on the show, we'll talk a little bit about high school basketball. Take our Tuesday night flashback from the Tuesday night games. Got a couple interviews from Davenport and Mawdesley from White County. So we'll talk to, or Seth actually talked to them on Tuesday night. So we'll take a look at that. And we will announce this week's
struggles to find the button. That was great. WilHart Team of the Week.
There you go. So first off, though, we're
Am I under contract for the show, or can I get out of this?
you're not under contract, so yes, you
yeah,
can get out.
I may just walk.
So
Jeff, you know you don't want out. This thing's like a train wreck.
it is.
It's so horrible, but
It's terrible.
you just have to watch.
You love it.
That is true.
Yeah. See, if we
That is true.
If we make it a train wreck, people still watch. Yeah.
I get that.
Okay.
Okay,
All
I
right,
got
so-
you. By
so-
the way, you said 5A was for all the marbles. Is there no trophy involved in 5A, or is it just marbles?
I think it's just marbles.
Just marbles.
Yeah.
Okay. GHSA's budget being cut again. I mean, they already cut out food. Well, I mean,
Wait, we get no food Friday?
Oh,
What?
no.
Hold on,
I'm
what?
out.
Oh, no.
I'm out.
Seth,
That's it. That's it. No more. Sorry, guys.
I'm done.
what happened?
We're out.
No
Just
food, no go.
food, no go.
No food, no go.
Well, I guess we're not covering anything for
I-
GHSA anymore,
I do remember the
other
one.
than basketball and
the
Macon.
count them, one taco they gave us in Macon.
He's still on the one taco.
The one
Yeah,
taco.
that was, yeah.
And the whole, little line they had it set up.
Yeah.
Was
was a
guarded
good- it
by
was a-
Georgia State Patrol people.
Yeah.
You
didn't
can
know-
only have one taco.
I didn't know taco thievery was now a federal crime.
Yeah, apparently. I mean,
Well, that would be a state
you know.
crime, but if the troopers were there.
Or would it be a steak crime?
what if you got a chicken taco? What would it be?
foul.
Hey,
He would
chicken.
have
it's a
run
foul.
a
It's
foul
a
of the
foul.
law.
That's a good one.
That was a good
It
quick
would
It's
one.
a foul.
A foul.
A foul.
Federal foul.
All right, so
That's
hey,
what it's going to be called in my country. It's going to be called a federal foul.
At some point, we probably should do a show on the greatest. I'm not going to say concession stands, but the greatest or the best food in press boxes around our area. We probably should do that.
Is
Well,
that
I mean,
categorized
we
by
can,
like the
I would say we can go
schools
ahead
that put
and-
it on?
We can decide that right now.
I know what you're going to say.
We don't need a whole show for that.
I know what you're going to say.
And what is that?
Buford.
Well, yeah.
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 Now, if I'm in a pizza mood, I will go to West Hall.
Actually,
Okay.
But Jefferson
I'm going to
Well,
bypass
Jefferson
Buford
stepped up this year.
Uh-oh.
and go UGA.
Okay, well, I'm talking high school.
Oh, high school? Oh, then yeah, Buford.
Yeah.
No problem.
Now, I will say, at the SEC championship game on Saturday, they were like food Nazis. They were the, if you tried to go back for like, if you wanted some extra mac and cheese or something like that, they would look at your tag and go like, okay, you got to wait till everybody comes through. And I'm like, how in the world
Would
they know that? Second of all, the only thing to drink was water and Dr. Pepper.
Of course.
Ugh. Dr.
Wait.
Pepper is nasty.
Turn his mic off. He's done. You're done. Dr. Pepper is not nasty.
Dr. Pepper is the official drink of Fansville.
Fansville.
You heathen.
On the next Fansville.
Awful.
His mic's still off.
Yes, it is.
Get away from me, Jeff.
Awful. So anyway,
We have fun on the
that
show.
was
Yeah.
terrible. So I just, that's every year I go now. It's just like, oh my gosh. I know there's the only thing to
I
drink
guess I
is
could
water.
side with that if that's like the only thing to drink. I wouldn't want
You
to
could have
simply
gone
drink Dr. Pepper
To the
all time.
concession
I
stand
could
where
and bought
you were
something, but I'm
sitting,
cheap, Bo.
For a couple dollars, you could get you a 34-ounce
Yes, I know.
cup of whatever you wanted.
I know. And
For
here's the thing.
$2.
I was in the auxiliary press box, which
Which-
was on second level, right there at the top of the stand.
And there was a
And there-
concession stand to your back,
right,
left,
back right,
and right, left and right.
Well, no, on this one it's just to the back right.
Can we also talk
And-
about the fact that Jeff got to go and I didn't?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
I don't know
think
what
you are.
happened with that.
I don't think you
I don't
are
think
sorry.
you would have. Let me tell you something. Your camera would have turned to ash for videoing that.
That's a fair point.
Fair point.
You would have left with the rest of the Georgia fans because there was nothing. There was nothing to video.
There was nothing
It was
to
like,
video. There
Seth-
was something to
Seth,
video.
this
There
is
was
the
weeping and
18th
sobbing from Georgia
This
fans
is the
everywhere.
18th video, Seth, of Joe Burrow scrambling and throwing a pass. Have you got anything else?
That'd be a negatory, Jeff.
That's all I've got.
That was about it.
That was about it. All right, so let's get back to the show here. I mean, I know we're on the show, but let's get back to the real reason we're here to do the shows. We like to have a lot of fun. Buford and Warner Robins for the Class 5A state
8
title.
minutes. That was 8 minutes.
That was a good intro.
Of nothing
let's
relating to
move.
high school sports whatsoever.
Let's move to the real stuff as we talk Buford Warner Robins Class 5A. We've kind of taken the route this week to try to blow this matchup out on Access. We've talked to Coach David Perno from Clarke Central, the only team.
Are we going to have him on this show?
We might throw a clip or two in from him, but Coach Perno was talking. He's the only team. The Gladiators are the only team that beat Buford this season and lost to Warner Robins.
That's right.
So good conversation you had with him.
I did.
Also,
I kind of just did. You notice? I just let him go.
Yeah, you just let him go for real. Yeah, I
I
mean
did.
he had some good stuff.
I
though.
went
You
and made some
can't-
coffee.
I could tell.
I
I could
went.
tell.
I microwaved a couple. I came. He's still on the same answer.
Yeah, well, hey, hey,
I loved it though. He gave us some good insight.
A lot of great stuff. You could read that story on Access right now. Just go to the Friday game night page. It is up there as well. But you talked to Coach App earlier this week as well. I'm going to talk to him also, but the feeling that you got from Coach App moving into the state championship game.
I got the feeling that they're up. They're ready to go. I think that they are approaching this in a similar vein that some of those older Buford teams that won state titles, not in taking away from anything with the ones that didn't, but hard work, preparation, and they're going to try to play to their strengths, put guys in the right spot. I think they were all excited. I know Coach App was excited. This is the first time he's been the head coach. He's been to a dozen state championship games as a coach. So I mean, and I might have missed one or two. So he's been around a while. He's been to quite a few. He understands. But this first time as head coach, I think he was excited about that. Story that we're kind of looking at. One of the things that I did talk to him about is pretty much in the last 2 or 3 rounds, every move that they've made as far as a tactical decision in the game has worked.
Mm.
You hope the law of averages don't catch up with them. So what was interesting is when I asked him that question, he goes, good teams take chances. He goes, you can't be a good team and not be willing to take a chance. You can't play scared. He goes, we're not playing scared. If we have to go for it on 4th down at our own 27, because we feel that that's what we need to do in the context of that game, like they did with Carrollton. They were down a touchdown. They were facing 4th and 2. They had not been able to really slow down Carrollton. He did not want to give them the ball back.
Well, let's hear what he had to say. I know you got up with him, caught up with him, but let's hear what Coach App said in his own words.
I mean, yeah, you always got to his situations in every game, and some of them don't seem really big. That you got to make a gut call and go with what you think your research says or what you just feel like they're giving you that night. So that's going to happen in every football game, especially when you pit two opponents against each other that are this good, and everybody's like, well, how good are they? Can they do this? Can they do that? It's like anybody playing this weekend is a really good football team. So we know it's going to come down to certain calls in certain situations. I don't know if it'll be a fake punt or anything like that, but we got to be prepared for anything. I mean, they're definitely going to be coming to beat us, and they're not going to just stand there and hope that we don't play hard. We got to have every weapon that we can use or have on Friday night to win this game. So we'll be prepared to do whatever we have to do.
Interesting.
Yes.
I just think I'm really feeling good for Buford in this. They haven't won a state title since 2014. We got another story up on Friday game night in Access about we put some stats of the two teams side by side. It was really interesting as I was going back and doing some research. Buford's only 3-3 in their last 6 finals.
Time to get over 500 then this week.
I know. You would think that they would, the numbers would be a little more dominant, but they're only 3-3 and they've lost 2 straight finals.
Wow.
Warner Robins has lost the last 2 finals. This is their 3rd straight trip. Will the third one be the charm for them, or will Buford, prevail?
So one of the other things that we talked about just briefly before we went into talking about Coach App was Coach David Perno, Clarke Central's head football coach. Again, the only coach to beat Buford, knocked him off in the region championship game, take the 1 seed out of the region. And one of the things that caught my eye, and we're going to play another part of the interview, but of what he said when he was looking at playing Buford for region championship, and he said the number 2 seed out of Region 8-5A.
Had the hardest road in the state.
Was the most travel in the state, and he was trying to do anything and everything to get out of the number 2 seed because Perno said the one he felt like his team would have gone just as far being the 1, 3, or 4 seed, but the 2 seed would have been very difficult, and he felt like Buford wins all the intangibles there because they've gone on the road and they've won.
927 miles.
A lot of mileage, but Coach Perno did
make a prediction?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing. Just my experience, and obviously, I mean, in my heart, I want Buford. I mean, we beat them, but my knowledge, Warner Robins is much healthier, and like I said, their road's been a lot easier, and and I just think there's just so much in there, and Warner Robins probably hadn't had to show much. I mean, they probably got a lot more in there because no one, like I said, no one has really pushed them. And so
you're kind of going with Warner Robins.
It's just going to be tough for Buford.
Close game, or is it a close game, or do you think Warner Robins?
I think I'm pretty certain it's a close game. And again, I think it's going to come down to turnovers. I mean, I think it's going to be that close. I think who takes care of the ball and who wins the field position, and it's going to be an old-fashioned slobber knocker when it comes down to it, I think.
Coach Perno, talking to him or listening to your interview with him.
Who did he pick? Did he pick somebody?
Well, you said, so you're picking Warner Robins, and he just kept talking. He never made a definitive pick.
No.
He set the game up, but he never made a definitive pick on who's going to win that game.
I think he wants
Buford. He said his heart is with Buford.
Right. But I think he felt like, now, as I talked to him in that whole interview, and you can hear, I think it was like 16 or 17 minutes. You can click on the story and click the whole interview. And just know that I got a word in every now and then.
which is which
was good.
Which was
but
good.
It was interesting that trying to pin him down was tough because I think he really thinks Warner Robins is one of the better teams in the state, all classifications.
Right.
But how do you pick against Buford when they're playing their style, particularly with the teams that they've had to go on the road? And they've beaten 3. Here's another interesting stat. They've beaten 3 number 1 seeds in the last 3 weeks. Only 2 teams that are still left have done that. That's them and Brooks County in AA.
Right.
That's how hard it is to do.
It's
I think
an interesting road that they've taken.
I think he has a hard time picking against Buford, but I know that he told me, if you listen to the interview, he was like wowed by the Warner Robins tape.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was definitely wowed by the Warner Robins tape. But again, you can hear this game live on AM 550 and FM 102.9. Also, full coverage. We'll have gamers, highlights, everything.
I have a question for our audience. If they go and listen to that interview, the whole thing, please email us and see what you thought he picked so that we can kind of see if we can get a consensus here.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because we're still on the fence.
All right, so you look at what else we have going on here in our area, and it's nothing but a bunch of high school basketball and high school wrestling. Got to throw out there, and North Hall winning the Hall County Dual Championships. They won that tournament. It looks like North Hall's not losing a beat there in the wrestling room.
No.
So that's a very interesting developing situation or story for that team because North Hall, just keeps on keeping on. Basketball-wise, though, you look around the area and a lot of interesting games. We had some coverage. Seth was out at the West Hall White County game on Tuesday night. Kind of interesting coming out of there. White County girls blowing out West Hall girls, and then the White County boys completing the sweep in the second game.
That was kind of a surprise, especially the way West Hall boys seem to be playing early on. The White County sweep, I'm not going to say I'm not surprised. I am surprised. I know, West Hall's still trying to rebuild a little bit. What's interesting is when I talked to Jarvis Davenport last week when they opened up in the region play with Blessed Trinity, he said, hey, we can play some defense. If we could just score,
he found it.
I think they found the offense.
I think Bentley Chronic was their leading scorer with 22 points.
But they had a lot of contributions.
They hit like 9 threes in that game.
He said if they're on offensively, he feels like he can beat anybody.
Yeah. Well, he was right because they were definitely on against West Hall, and of course White County was on as well. White County, I think the boys had 4 in double digits in the scoring column, so they were doing well. Seth got a chance to catch up with both Coach Davenport and Coach Mawdesley.
How are your team shaping out now that you've had a chance to see them in action?
Well, honestly, tonight was the first time we've had everybody in uniform. We had several concussions and bangs here and there like everybody else, but tonight we got off to a good start and we kept going. And like I said, it's just the sky's the limit for this team. We don't know what we can do yet. We just have to play hard and believe in each other and keep making winning plays.
All right, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
It's like I hoped. We've been a little bit inconsistent. We've had a really good game, and then we kind of break down a little bit. The last 2 games we played against Marist and BT, and those are tough. But I thought we got great shots. We just didn't make them. I would say we're kind of on track. When those football guys are getting in and starting to kind of catch the groove a little bit, I think. And we got some real young. Like tonight, we started 2 freshmen, so those guys are just they're going to get better.
So high school basketball, we are in December, and of course, all these teams still kind of finding their way. A lot of the boys' teams getting their football players back, getting them back into basketball shape. And of course, you look at Lanierland's coming up, a lot of Christmas tournaments coming up, and then it really heats up after January. So far, though, Jeff, and I know we haven't watched a whole lot of basketball yet, but we've seen a lot of scores come through. Any surprises so far as they're a month and a half into the season?
Well, I think we're going on the positive road.
Okay.
Dawson County seems dominant. I'm not saying you're asking me if that's a surprise. I didn't think they'd be this good.
Mm-hmm.
They lost some. They had some players come back, but they lost some.
Right.
Cherokee Bluff looks pretty good. Boys, on the boys side. Girls side, I think until last or the other night.
I throw North Hall in there too.
I was going to say. That's what I'm saying. Until the other night when they shockingly kind of got swept. I didn't see that coming. Both North teams by GAC. Both those teams playing pretty well. So I think that's positive notes. There's some positive things. I mean, Buford's dominant. The boys, we're still trying to figure out. Now, if we're going to go on the negative route a little bit, I'm Seth Vining's back at East Hall.
Right.
I think we were very, very excited about that. Not that we're not still excited about that, but maybe it's a little tougher right now at East Hall than we thought. They're struggling. Gainesville's struggling. The boys. But it's early.
Here's the positive thing about the struggles early, because really, if you're playing a region tournament, you're playing this season right now to improve, get ready for that region tournament. Now, obviously, you want a higher seed, but you're still going to play a tournament at the end to go to the state tournament.
Well, that's true.
So,
well, for East Hall, they're struggling and playing region games.
Right.
Gainesville has not gotten into the region schedule yet, so they've got time to work out whatever's going on. So I don't. It's hard to. It is hard to know. You're asking me that question today based on records and some scores. Those are my two biggest surprises that kind of bother me.
We'll leave it there. We'll have more of those. We'll be able to answer that a lot better. Probably.
I would say after Lanier Land, I think we're going to have a lot more idea.
All right, now it's time for Seth's picks, and I know Seth loves doing his picks, and he still has some football picks left too. So, Seth, take it away.
A little hodgepodge this week, maybe.
What you got?
Yeah, that's one thing that I've been really enjoying is just the hodgepodge of two sports kind of colliding, which is why I'm really excited for later in the spring when we maybe have some basketball left over, a touch of baseball, and maybe even some soccer thrown in there.
Wrestling, maybe.
And wrestling.
You have some state title stuff maybe going on.
Possibly. You never know. Like, I'm just kind of excited to get in here and
You have to expand Seth's picks.
Who is calling this line? Oh, it is lunchtime. Okay, go ahead and finish.
What was that about? Way to cut me off, phone. Lost my train of thought. Anyway, here is Seth's picks.
Probably the best thing about the Seth's Picks, Seth, was the phone ringing right in the middle of us introducing Seth's Picks.
Oh, yeah, that was the highlight. That was the key highlight of Seth's Picks was cameo from the phone in our recording studio.
Yes, and my phones and computer, they were cut down today.
Thank
didn't
you.
even bring mine into the
Thank
studio.
you.
Look,
I
there's
didn't
Better
even
than the
bring-
other times.
Look, I didn't even bring mine into the studio.
Okay, well, you can check
Well,
out.
Jeff gets the gold star today
Thank
for
you very
that.
much.
Congratulations.
I
Jeff.
should always get the gold star.
Hey, you can see all of our videos on the website, or you can go subscribe to our YouTube page. Now, time for the second favorite thing of the show. Actually, we're going to throw this the first favorite. This goes over Seth's Picks any day of the week. It's time for
You just hurt his feelings. Look at that. Did you see him? He hung his head and shamed. Look at it. He's done. He's walking out.
our voice
Bye.
guy is gone. Okay, you come back now. I was just kidding.
That was horrible. You're like, come back, and I just immediately came back. That was
Okay,
horrible.
so it is now time for
WilHart Team of the Week.
this week's nominees, which I've added the last second one into
Whoa.
the balloting
WilHart
box.
Team of the sorry guys, I have that on loop back here. I played it by
I
accident.
thought it was
Okay.
coming out of those speakers.
I have it on loop and it played by accident. That's
Okay.
my bad.
All right. So here are the nominees. Buford beating Jones County. Bluff Boys routing East Hall. East Hall girls beating Bluff. Justin Wheeler getting his 100th win as head coach.
Ooh.
And the North Hall wrestling team winning the Hall County Championships. One that we didn't talk about back in the sports office. That was the last second edition. Jeff Hart, what say you?
Wow. Why do I have to go first?
I don't know.
Kizbo's the boss.
Your
Well,
number's been called.
I think North Hall Wrestling was expected to win that, so it's not that I don't want to pick them for WilHart Team of the Week, but if anybody had beaten them, they would have been the WilHart Team of the Week.
Exactly.
So, as dominant as that was, I'm not going to go with that because I just, I expected that. No offense to anybody else out there, but the Trojans are they're dominating right now.
Okay.
The Buford was a semifinal game.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's big,
Huge.
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 Cherokee Bluff boys, 39-point win over East Hall
Yeah.
at Valhalla.
Also huge.
Huge.
But I'm going to go with the East Hall girls
Oh,
because I just, I
you
think it's a,
sucked us all in
I-
there,
I
Jeff,
did.
and there you go with the East Hall girls.
I like Justin Wheeler. I think he's one of the good dudes out there, and I think that's a big milestone for him to get his 100th win. And he got it at home. So I'm going to go with that one.
Seth, what's your pick?
Not this week, Bo. I will not be suckered in. Bo, you're going to have to tell us what you think.
Oh, I agree with Jeff on North Hall Wrestling. By the way, they are gaining the edge feature this week. You can go check that out on the website right now. Expectations very high over at North Hall, so I'm not going to choose them this week. Buford getting their semifinal win over Jones County. Big win for them. But they were our WilHart Team of the Week last week. So,
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I don't let that influence me because
So-
one week is different from the next.
yeah, it is. It is, believe me. Bluff beating East Hall. Very interesting. Cherokee Bluff, though, the Bears are pretty good. They're
Pretty
going to
good.
be there, I think, in the end.
You think so? Are you?
Wheeler
only
getting
drum roll
his
for so long, guys.
100th win is a big milestone for any coach, as well as his girls beating Cherokee Bluff. My pick is East Hall girls beating Cherokee Bluff.
Hey!
Wow.
My fingers hurt
That
from
was
that.
pretty good drum roll.
Ow.
Yeah, that was nice. All right, so
My
congratulations
knuckles.
to the
If your video career goes down the tubes, you have a
Yeah.
career in doing
Yeah.
this.
Awesome.
You
That's
do.
great.
so
I didn't say as a drummer. I just said doing this.
congratulations to the Vikings, the East Hall girls beating the Bears, and Justin Wheeler. Congrats to you, man. 100 wins. That's big time.
That's,
you are the
WilHart Team of the Week.
That just proves that he's been able to put together a pretty good program in his time there. It's wow. I you know, when I saw that, I was like, holy cow! I didn't realize he had been there long enough already to get 100 wins.
All right, that's a wrap for the show today. Don't forget at WDUN Sports on Twitter and at Friday Game Night to follow the Buford updates this week or on Friday. We'll have that game again, AM 550, FM 102.9. We'll have highlights, video highlights, photos, stories, and stuff.
All three of us are going to be there.
Yes, from the Georgia State Stadium and the Class 5A state championship game. For Jeff Hart, he's at HartJJ22. For Seth Chapman, don't know what his handle is. I'm Bo at the Bo Wilson on Twitter. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.